video like 400 times and I just keep fucking hating it, and it's a little mind-numbing. But yeah, so hey, I'm gonna do an art video today. I've never done an art video on this channel, or just a specifically just art video, because this is the makeup channel and why would I do art videos? But I have done like body painting tutorials, which are basically art and makeup, and you mush them together and it makes a lovely little makeup art sandwich. But this is just art. So I'm doing a video today on doll repainting. For those of you guys who don't know what doll repainting is, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's when you take a doll and you repaint her. Specifically, these are done with Monster High dolls, Ever After High dolls, Barbie dolls, any kind of doll really. You can repaint it. I've been pretty much obsessively watching Poppen Atelier, don't know if I'm saying it right, and also Dollightful. I will link both those ladies down below. They're just like so fucking talented. I wanted to do a video documenting my first experience doing this because I couldn't really find any, like, not really a ton of videos of people showing their first experiences doll repainting, and I just wanted to know what to expect, because I know from just doing research and watching tutorials and stuff that this isn't the easiest art form. And I tried to film myself doing this painting for the first time, but it was difficult. it was hard. I had to I painted her face, or I did the first layer and then I had to completely remove it. So it was just frustrating, and I could not concentrate on filming and trying to get this doll looking presentable. And yeah, so when I was looking up people's first experiences doll repainting, I found pretty much there was a wide spectrum. So there was people who were 10 and they were doll repainting for the first time, and that's all fine and dandy, but I figured their experience wouldn't be the same as my experience, because I have an art background. I went to school for art, if you guys don't know, and they're 1/3 my age, so I figured it wouldn't be the same thing. And there was also people, there was 1 or 2 videos of people who have art backgrounds and they tried doll repainting for the first time. But a lot of the people weren't using, it's not that they weren't using the correct materials, but this seems like an art form that you kind of need to use specific stuff in. And some of them were kind of trying to substitute certain things for other things. And yeah, I think some of them, it didn't end up looking, it's not that it looked bad, but it didn't end up looking probably the best that it could, because they were running into issues with the paint or the pencils or the stuff that they put down before they paint everything. I went into this, I purchased all the materials that you need, which probably isn't the most intelligent thing, because it's bitch, do you even know if you're gonna like this art form? But I didn't want to I didn't want to not like it because I was using crappy products, because I've used crappy products before and ended up not liking something. It's just a shitty feeling, because it makes you kind of confused. You don't know if you're bad at something or if the products are bad, and it's just not giving you the experience that you want. And I figured also that even if I did doll repainting, I'd probably use these things. I'd probably use soft pastels for something. I'd probably use watercolor pencils for something, just because I like doing artsy fartsy shit. So all in all, I ended up spending about $200 off of Amazon on the supplies, and also I went a little ham buying Monster High dolls and Ever After High dolls. I love dolls, you guys, I really, really do. I think that they're so fun to look at and stare at, and I have all the ones that I'm gonna paint over there, and they're all just chilling with the little legs, and I love them so much. It was a Monster High doll. I'll just show you guys her. I'm gonna show you guys close-ups and everything. This is how she turned out. She cute, she naked. That's the hair she came with. I didn't want to try, doing her hair and making her a wig and stuff, because it just seemed a little overwhelming. It was just a lot, to figure out how to paint her correctly with things that I've never used watercolor pencils before. I don't use soft pastels, are not really a thing that I use a ton, even though I think I'll get use out of them. It's not an art material that I'm familiar with. So I just wanted to try painting her, and then after that I would learn how to make her some clothes, and on my next one I'll give her a wig or whatever. And I wanted to pick a doll for the first time where I think her hair is not offensive. I think it's kind of cute, actually. It's a cute little ponytail. She's cute, so that's why I chose this doll. and she's a Monster High like Gigi Grant doll. She's like a genie or whatever. And I really love her. So speaking specifically with my experience repainting, I'll list all the products that I bought down below. But I'm going to talk to you guys about like where I ran into problems, because I ran into some problems. So the first problem that I ran into was nail polish remover, which seems so fucking stupid, like of a problem to run into. But I bought like tons of nail polish removers. So I'm currently in Kuwait right now, and you should buy, if you guys get into this hobby, just buy acetone, 100% acetone nail polish remover. That doesn't seem to be a thing that is available in Kuwait, because I went to like 4 different places looking for it and it's just not anywhere. It's just, like, I have so many nail polish removers, and I don't even wear nail polish, so great. Anyway, if you guys don't have a place with 100% pure acetone nail polish remover in it, I would recommend getting an extra strength nail polish remover, because I feel like the way that this removes paint, it's probably like 100% acetone. I don't really know, but it has like a couple other things in it, like, you know, perfume. But once I use this, it like removed the paint like immediately. All this shitty shit, I scrubbed the lady's face for like an hour and it just was, none of the paint was coming off and it looked a mess. So yeah, if you can't find pure acetone, buy extra strength nail polish remover. And by the way, this is how I wrap my lady. So this doll, my husband was supposed to try out doll repainting for the first time with me, but he ended up thinking it was too hard. So this is the doll. I like wrapped this whole thing. I did all the work. I sprayed it, and then he ended up like not liking it. So yeah, this is how I wrap mine. I wrap mine in saran wrap. That's exactly what I did for this lady. And this one is still in saran wrap, and I will probably end up painting her because I don't want her to go to waste. This doll was actually pretty expensive. This is it's not a Monster High doll. It's like a My Little Pony doll. These are like expensive for whatever reason, but he wanted to paint that and didn't even end up painting it. The second problem that I ran into was that my Mr. Super Clear, I sprayed it on, and I sprayed it on way too close to the doll. I like soaked her face in Mr. Super Clear, and when I went to draw on top of it, it was not, like the pencil was laying down really uneven. I also wasn't grabbing the soft pastels well, so that sucked. So I had to, like, I tried shading and I tried drawing and it just wasn't working out. So I had to wipe off the whole face with nail polish remover and then spray it again. Hey guys, so this is editing Jackie. This is prior to me wiping her face off. I actually found that I had footage of that. So I am like desperately trying to lay down like the soft pastels, and it's just like not grabbing any of the color. And also I tried, prior to this, I tried to lay down like watercolor pencil, and it was like skipping and not showing up pigmented. And she also had a bit of like her face wasn't matte. It was dry, but it was kind of glossy. So I just think that because I sprayed it so close and I sprayed so much on her face, it just wasn't like correct. And I wasn't sure, like at first I was like, am I just terrible at this? Like, what's wrong? Like, why is this so hard? Like, I know this is my first time, but I feel like it shouldn't be this hard. So I grabbed the one, I sprayed my husband's doll when I sprayed mine. And I grabbed his because I was like, maybe his is a little bit different. And I remember when I like doused mine, I was like, oh, I think I did that too close. So I did his like quite a bit farther away. And when I laid down the watercolor pencil and the soft pastels, it like laid down how it should, like it laid down pigmented, and it just felt like I was drawing. It didn't feel like I was fighting with it. So yeah. So as you guys can see, this is me like trying out doing it on my husband's doll, and it just took everything way better. So that's when I realized that it wasn't me that was kind of like, I mean it was me because I applied too much Mr. Super Clear, but it's because my base was wrong. And then it ended up working really well. And something that I feel like, I mean, people mention this in tutorials, but I didn't get the memo when I was painting it, I don't know why, is that you kind of have to do multiple layers of Mr. Super Clear. So the first layer that I did twice. I did 2 layers, and then I started sketching on with the watercolor pencils and shading and stuff with the soft pastels. And then you can only get a certain level of shading that way, and then you have to spray it again, and then, you know, do heavier shading and stuff. So for whatever reason, I didn't get that memo, even though I've watched a bunch of tutorials mention it. I don't know, it like skipped my mind. Maybe because it was like so many new things and like new techniques that I was using that I totally forgot. But I figured it out eventually, and I just sprayed her face, and then I could layer up more soft pastels and stuff. So that's another problem that I ran into. For whatever reason, when I was doing this, I was trying to specifically stay with soft pastels and watercolor pencils, which is just silly. Like, if you want to use whatever type of medium, use whatever type of medium. And what I mean by that is, like, I was trying to keep my outlines with watercolor pencils, and it just was not giving me the effect that I wanted. And then I went and I reached for, you know, my acrylic paint, and I got like a way more intense effect, and I just liked it a lot better. And also I have like tiny markers, and they gave me like, I did her lash line with markers, with like the micro markers or pens or whatever, and that worked really, really well. So yeah, don't feel like you need to use things that other people use. I mean, definitely with like soft pastels, it gives you a really nice like shaded and blushed effect around the face. And also with watercolor pencils, it gives you nice like dull lines, and it's nice to build up the definition with those. But if it's not something that you're completely comfortable with, if you have to grab for acrylic paint, like, that's fine. I don't know why I didn't think that was fine, but I didn't for whatever reason. Also, if you want to reach for gouache, like, I don't think many people who do dollar painting use gouache, but it's also fine. And also, if you want to grab for like, I used gel pens as well for like the white around the face, and that worked really well. And yeah, use whatever like you think will work. I'm someone who likes to use a bunch of mediums when I'm doing something. It makes me more comfortable. I don't really like being limited. So if that's something that you also feel, keep that in mind. You can use whatever you want as long as it looks good. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys the brushes that I used. I do makeup, so I have a ton of makeup brushes, but I just have a bunch of like fluffy eyeshadow brushes. This is kind of fluffy. And then I have like these smaller ones, like this one, for using like more concentrated with like the soft pastel layers of color. So yeah, I just have like an assortment of eyeshadow brushes, fluffier like crease brushes, and then brushes that you can do like lines with. So that's what I used for those. And then I also use a ton of tiny paintbrushes. So I love tiny paintbrushes, so I had a ton of tiny paintbrushes, and I think that these are like essential if you guys are doing dollar painting. Like, you definitely need a ton of these like little tiny things. And I also have some like medium ones, but I used a ton of paintbrushes because I love tiny paintbrushes. These are really good for like lines on the face, highlights, shit like that, for like with acrylic paint. And then for the varnishes that I used on the eyes and the lips, the first varnish that I used is this one. This is Winsor Newton. I don't like Winsor Newton. Like, I really don't. Whenever I try this brand, like, it sucks. And this was $16. Like, shut up. Oh my god. But yeah, it's a glossy varnish, and it sucks ass, and it just makes things not glossy. Like, I don't know. But I got this one at home back in America. I got it from Blick. This is the golden varnish, MSA, I don't know what that is, varnish gloss. This is super glossy. This is actually what I ended up putting on her eyes and her lips, and now they're nice and glossy. I'm trying to think if there's any other like problems that I ran into when I was doing this. I don't think that there are, at least there's none that like I can think of off the top of my head. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below. But yeah, like, reach for whatever medium you want when you're doing this, as long as it makes sense. Like, I think, you know, oil painting wouldn't work for this, but like, if you want to grab acrylic paint, grab acrylic paint. If you want to grab for some markers, do like the lash line or whatever. I genuinely wonder how like markers, like Copic markers or whatever, would work on a doll repainting thing. Probably not great, but like, I'm curious. But yeah, anyway guys, if you guys have any questions, leave those down below. Like this video if you like this video, subscribe, makes me happy, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Bye!